When was the last time something truly inspired you? Crawled into your brain and played your synapses like a guitar? What was the last movie you watched that kept you thinking about it for days, weeks, or even months on end? A piece of art that burned into the back of your mind like a paused smut scene on an old CRT monitor? Art has the power to inspire a great deal of emotions in us. It can act as a catalyst for all manner of creative endeavours. But importantly, art can also be great without being inspiring. This may sound baffling to you, but the spirit of creativity is a fickle, fragile thing. For many of us, it wanes as we ease our way into adulthood. We can appreciate the sublime and the ridiculous without it sparking a fire of imagination within, and that's okay. But it's not perfect. Gaming has this problem too. Without hesitation, I'm sure any one of us could name a dozen or so classics, titles that exemplify just what a dedicated studio could do with an interactive medium. Titles like Shadow of the Colossus, or The Last of Us, the good Final Fantasies, or those niche indie games that stylize nostalgia. Games that quickly became the poster children of the medium. But how many of these projects actually engage players on a level beyond that of steering the direction of the narrative? You could look at a game like The Witcher Wild Hunt with wibbly eyes. I know I certainly do. It's a great game that holds a spot in the hearts of many, a lovely world to explore and a meaty narrative to sink your teeth into. But Wild Hunt's method of interaction is, well, primitive. There's nothing that it does that you couldn't do in a non-interactive medium. This is not a value judgment, more a statement of fact. And of course, games like The Witcher have inspired other works of art from the community and the industry. There's a place for these narrative-heavy titles in gaming's grand framework, as well as a multitude of titles that are specifically designed to encourage creativity. Whether that's the increasingly complex rule set of voxel-stacking cultural monolith Minecraft, or the anything-goes toy box bonanza that is Little Big Planet. There's no shortage of digital apparatus that acts as a loudspeaker for the inventive among us. There's a problem, though. In order to get the most out of these titles, you need to already possess the spirit of creativity. That spark that more often than not lies dormant. Whether your game directly encourages it, or inspires it unconsciously, someone for whom that creative streak doesn't surface isn't going to get the most out of it. This is where Media Molecule comes in. The creators of the Little Big Planet series, and the upcoming Dreams, know how important it is to foster creativity. They build these unfathomably expansive digital toolsets, durable enough to look good, but elastic enough to allow players to build stuff that on paper shouldn't be possible. They also made Tearaway, a cute little platform game with a unique twist. I could talk for hours about the gorgeous art style, the creative way that the game embeds the controller and player as part of its world, or the intuitive way that it signposts its navigation puzzles. I could talk about how refreshing it is to have a game that charges you to sit up straight and pay attention to your controller etiquette, how coherent its world feels despite looking like the contents of a clown's fridge, or how perfectly it fits the mould of a family game without skimping on challenge. But really, all I can think about after playing Tearaway is how it reignited that creative streak I thought I'd lost. Because, alongside all that good stuff that the game is consistently praised for, it offers these unassuming, isolated opportunities for expression within the framework of a curated platforming adventure. Small, optional challenges bookmarked by the familiar sides of a gift-wrapped blue box. And it's super effective for a number of reasons. First, it doesn't matter what you make. There's no fail state for these side objectives. Whatever the outcome, your patron is ecstatic. As well as no fail state, there's also no tangible reward, save for confetti. The cheerful currency of this world serves to help unlock more options for creation, and that's really all the motivation you need. Coupled with this laissez-faire attitude to the outcome, you can create all manner of charming monstrosities, ranging from banners to the elements to even your avatar's face. And while the method of creation, especially on the PS4's trackpad, is a little wonky, it doesn't matter. You don't need to be precise because the game's art direction suits this wonk down to a T. There's an appealing scruffiness to the world of Tearaway that opens its arms to artists of all talent. So what you end up with is a system that rewards creativity with small, unimportant bursts of joy that make you feel good throughout your adventure, that cheer you on even if all you do is make crass facsimiles of genitalia. These factors are important because they hark back to a quintessentially childish take on creativity, a mindset not yet plagued by the pressures of adulthood, the creeping sense that you are being judged, or that long-standing fallacy that there can be some objective metric by which to judge art. It harks back not to an era, but to a more universal experience that almost all of us share. A time when we got out our colouring pencils, mixed up our paint, and went to town on a canvas with reckless abandon. The curated experiences that most games offer, a lens through which to understand the artistic vision of another mind, are still worthy of merit, and in many cases a preferred experience. But every now and then it's good to remember where you came from, and what art without context feels like. So to you, Media Molecule, I commend highly, for making a playground for all types of gamer, a crafting bench for lame idiots like me who don't have a creative bone in their body.
Out there!